Okay, getting everything loaded up here. Let's see here. Well, let me change the title of this. Let me get this taken care of real quick. I should have did this first, but I'm still learning this, guys. Okay, got that. Now, let me get this over here and we'll get started. If I can see the screen. Full screen. This is ridiculous. I apologize. Turn that off. Um, Okay. Whew, I apologize, guys. Trying to figure all this stuff out and learn it on the fly. So yesterday I had made a video, and I had noticed that the audio was a little jacked up. So I apologize about that. I'm still learning here. What can I say? So, without further ado, my name is John Thetford. I have started on this kind of financial and buying time back, and being able to do more, and hopefully be able to offer more to those that are around me. Um, I want to add value while I'm still learning tricks of the trades and things of that nature, and quite literally. So, with that being said, today was a kind of interesting day. To give you a little bit of a backstory, my wife and I have been just challenged throughout the course of time through 2020 in particular with COVID going on, right? And the reality of it is, and I'm sure for many of you out there, the same could be said, right? Nobody was expecting for the entire economy to shut down, um, essentially, and for us to be sitting at home, trying to either A, work from home if we can, or B, like myself, ended up losing the position that I was in just due to the site that I was helping manage. We ended up closing it down. The company had consolidated, and we're kind of crunching the numbers too. So that's what they decided. And here we are, getting into the thick of things, and our kids are coming home. So for myself, I had no income stream, was really blessed to have, some of the help with the stimulus packages and stuff like that, and a little bit of unemployment and whatever. But like many, many average folks out there, hey, we haven't managed our money accordingly or to the way that we would want. And so, the last several months, we've been my wife and I have been talking about what we can do, struggling still, being to the point too. I mean, just to be real upfront with everybody, going to the food pantry to get groceries because we couldn't afford to go get groceries, or myself not skipping plenty of meals just to make sure that the kids can eat and be able to pay for our mortgage and stuff like that. Now I like to eat, but we've been making it work, and don't get me wrong, it's been bad in my opinion, but I'm sure, it could be much worse, and I know for a fact that it is for several people out there. So with that being said, too, we just kind of decided, um, that something's got to change, right? So I had started digging into listening to podcast, to several different folks out there about wealth building and buying your time back. Looking at different strategies. She actually had a coworker of hers mention to her, about stock trading and doing options plays and things of that nature. And I remembered a few years back I would mention it, like I would kind of like to learn about that because I think it would be just kind of fun as a hobby, if you will. So that started us down this whole financial, planning path, if you will, and we're still literally on the entry of doing this. So we had a conversation back in January about, what do we do? How do we go about this? So we dove into learning about, the trading market and just different styles of investment and all this stuff. Well, that kind of helped establish a little bit of a foundation as to where to start. Not able to invest in a whole lot or anything like that. And by no means do we have the money to really invest into anything. But we had decided to go ahead and take a very small amount of money that we didn't have that really at the time should have went to our cell phone bill, but we paid that late, just to be upfront with you guys. And we ended up putting it into this brokerage account, which I'm going to pull up here and show you guys. So at any rate, we initially had invested a couple $100. And I was just skeptical, right? I didn't want to lose the couple $100 that we had in there. Started taking the time to really research some good plays. And then next thing you know, actually started making a little bit of wins, which is great. Cannot complain about that at all. And let me tell you what, when I was learning all this different stuff, we decided to go ahead and get some skin in the game and just bite the bullet, invest into this market. And lo and behold, who knew that the meme stocks were a real thing, right? So I'm learning how to do due diligence, do all my research, learning, and I'm still very much learning right now what's going on. Being able to read candles, what some of the technical analysis behind some of these things, and very much still learning, like I said, and especially with options too. But I had lucked out because I had researched a company called MVIS, excuse me, and at the time it just looked really like it was about to rip. It was just looking set up to be a really bullish run. So that was my kind of first investment right off the top, on options play on call. And it had just so worked out that I did that. We scraped a little bit from there, and then I went ahead and was like, you know what? I think in my mind at this time, AMC theaters was a good buy because it was so cheap. And again, a little bit of research on there, putting kind of two and two, in my opinion, together as far as what I'm hoping and I'm thinking by this summer we'll be able to open up, and really by the end of the year, the stock itself should be, in my opinion, again, around $20, $22, somewhere around there, I would think. So I went ahead and bought in on some of these things. Again, not really knowing what I was doing. But just making it part of our primary goal, number one, of getting skin in the game. And then number two, hopefully learning by actually having that cash inside an investment, so that we were not playing on paper trades or anything like that. I'd already done that for a little bit. She's been learning about it. And so, yeah, I ended up buying some AMC stock at $4 and some odd cents, which was awesome. Really, really cheap deal, right? And then not even a week later, I didn't even hear about this meme stock business. So let me tell you what, it's been a hard learning curve because all the fundamentals, if you will, that I've learned to this point, I mean, just completely blown out of the water, excuse me. As you learn, sometimes I can't talk too. But yeah, so I had this stock and was like, great, man, I'm going to turn around and sell it and make a little bit of money off of it. And then I got to looking at it. I was like, nah, I'm just gonna keep on letting it ride up. I didn't want to cut and run so quickly. And yeah, so I actually had the opportunity to sell off a couple other little trades, that I positioned myself into and profited, and then spent a little bit more into AMC and a couple other plays. And let me tell you what, I've learned a lot, and some of the positions that I still hold on to right now, I'm actually losing money. My overall account, or our overall account, is still up from when we first started. So I just kind of wanted to show, like, today, just a really interesting day. It's been, thankfully for me, I kind of got in at a good time with AMC in particular. And I did catch that ride along the way too. I was like, oh, GameStop, that's coming up, right? Bought in at $90 as part of this just crazy train that was going on. And then we get to days like today. It's been interesting. So, like I said, I've been staying at home. The kids are at home, as they're out for spring break right now. So yeah, it just kind of worked out with not having a job. Well, in the meantime, I've been handling day-to-day business around the house, chores, feeding kids, etc. Then pulling up this stock. So I'm looking at this, and on the 15th, which was yesterday, we had actually closed the day out. Um, what's the Today is Tuesday, right? Yeah. So Monday we closed out, or opened up rather, around the $11.91 range, which is awesome. You'll see that over here. And we're kind of coming, riding up to the throughout the day and coming back down and going back up a little bit. So we hit the high of the day. I was like, cool, man. I went ahead and invested too into another options play that a couple weeks ago, that expires this Friday. And again, just more of a learning effort. I did not want to invest anything that I wasn't willing to lose. And quite honestly, I don't want to lose any of it, right? But I also know too, with a bit of skepticism, you got to come into the market knowing you can have really, really, high highs and really low lows, and just got to take it with a grain of salt. So today was kind of my first day, with the exception of GameStop stock, where AMC's been kind of riding the middle of the road, if you will. And then I was kind of tempted to, like, maybe I should buy some more yesterday, is what I was thinking, because I just, in my opinion, I thought today, overall market, we would be seeing a lot of green tickers just due to stimulus coming in, really people wanting to get out and about. And I was just trying to figure out, really my guessing game, and plan of action of what I wanted to do. And then boom, we open up this morning and it just rips all the way down, right? 13-11. Then we see a little bit of a rebound here, and it just keeps kind of going. And we see a little bit more of a sell off, and then all of this mess again. So in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got paper hands. I kind of want to get out while I had my options play in particular going, and it was losing money, or not really losing money. I'm still green on it, but it's been interesting. So we go throughout this whole day where we're seeing all these different price movements. The price action today, we'll lose a little bit, or lose quite a bit rather, and then kind of tick back up and ride across and then rip back down again, and we'll build it back up. Just the highs and lows. There wasn't any true kind of trading sideways, if you will. And then we start finally seeing it go above this VWAP line right here, which is the moving average, excuse me, yeah, VWAP. The moving average right here that I have, the 50 EMA, 21 EMA, and then the 9-day EMA as well. And it finally starts building back up, and I was like, cool, maybe we'll see a $15 price target today or something like that. That'd be great. That's really what I was hoping for as far as my options call, my one position that I have, is concerned. And really, systematically, I'm sitting here just riding up this high. Like, do I get out? No. I felt convicted that come Friday, there's this thing called quad witching day. If you don't know what that is, it's a very easy Google search, but all these different types of plays in the market, they all converge for closing out, just due to the end of the quarter, right? So with that being said, I felt like I don't want to sell right now today, thinking that we're going to just keep creeping up, and maybe by close to close of business today, I might sell it just to get out. I don't want to have the stress of watching it the rest of the week, if you will. I got things to do, man. Kids to take care of, places to be, all the chores, all the fun stuff. And then next thing you know, we see it just come on right back down. It was insane. So, really towards the end of the day, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, okay, it's fine. I'm still up, and I'll go ahead and show you guys this too. So this is just on AMC. Current positions that I hold right now, and this is where I'm at. I got it kind of set up. So I got 20 stocks in AMC. Like I said, just a little bit of skin. The one call option that expires on the 21st, actually. My bad. Is that the 21st? Hold on. I thought it was the 19th. Yeah, it says 3 days left. Anyways, I will have to look at that. And it's the 21st anyways. Oh, Sunday. That's weird. I thought it would show the 19th. My bad. See? Clearly, still learning. At any rate, so I bought one of those. I had bought into a couple of SPAC companies too, and a couple of these, honestly, I did not do the research that I should have. Just kind of looked at them briefly and figured that they would be closing those merging deals by the end of the month, and I was wrong. So I've lost a little bit of my position on that, like $281 since I bought it, right? And then even with this March call for, or this week's call for the AMC, I actually ended up purchasing it on a high, which is a terrible idea. So, really up until this week, I was sitting there thinking like, man, I'm losing the money. But again, I was prepared to lose it because my overall account's still up. But I'm also holding on to hope that the overall stock price would go up, therefore pushing the option play up. And thank goodness I was right. So as it stands, at close of business today, I've made a whole whopping $25.34 of unrealized gain, meaning I haven't sold it. And I'm happy with that, right? So this whole time, the last couple weeks since I purchased this, I realized my mistake of number one, I bought on a very high end of the day. So don't ever do that. You want to find a good point of consolidation, a good entry point to buy in on your stock or your options play, whatever you're looking at doing, right? And I learned that. So I feel very blessed at this point that I'm even up $25. And I think that's fantastic. But some of these other ones, again, without doing my own thorough due diligence, just kind of buying in on some just a whim, to be honest with you, taking a chance. I see a lot of red right here. This whole week has been rather interesting, or rather last week and going into this week, I've seen all this stuff be really green for the day, and then days like today where it's all red, right? So I think we're seeing a market reset, if you will. And I'm very curious to see about stimulus. How many folks are actually still in, maybe in the same position that I'm in, wanting to learn, maybe looking at the stimulus package as a little bit of a resource to go ahead and do an investment. And for me, it's a gamble, right? If I was going to take that $1,400, excuse me, and invest it in the market, I would want to know more of what I'm doing, more of what I'm buying into, more of kind of what you want to look at, as far as conviction is concerned. Do you feel like you have a very solid play? And my deal too is with all of this, I'm kind of looking at it in three stages. So number one, having skin in the game to learn how to trade, getting into multiple trades so that way I'm learning how to read different charts, looking at the different technical analysis on those, learning how to do the research behind those investments, things of that nature. But like I said, it's been insane because I picked a perfect time to get into the market, thinking that I got at least a little bit of solid, foundation built and knowledge built. But next thing you know, we got meme stocks, and this comes up. So I jumped on board too. I actually ended up buying this GameStop share, just one, because we, like I said, very small amount of money, and I won some and lost some, and won some a little bit too. But yeah, I bought it at $90, and then it just all the way down, and it just stayed at like 30-40 bucks. I was like, you know what, I got nothing to lose. The share is already held in my account, or in our account. And there was still a lot of talk. By this point in time, I started seeing too, like Wall Street bets, different Discord memberships and things of that nature, which I haven't paid for a membership of anything, but I've been looking at different groups, and hell, I didn't even know what Discord was. But started reading some of these other people's kind of research and stuff like that, and finding some consistent themes. So I felt like, okay, good. Like all I got to do is just hold on to it. Everybody's talking like it's going to go up, and next thing you know, it's going up. I think I made unrealized gain the other day around $200 off of my $90 investment. So that's awesome, right? But I still held on to it just because I feel like, personally, I feel like at this point in time, I do feel like it's going to go higher. Same thing with AMC, things of that nature. And really, quite honestly, at this point in time, I do wish I had some more capital to go ahead and invest in some of these stocks, but I don't. And part of this journey, if you will, for us, is to learn how to do this. I'm looking at it, if I can grow it and become a day trader, and maybe a nice upper level amateur day trader, if you will. That's kind of what I want to do. I don't really want to go back to work, so I'm looking at this personally as I want to make this my paycheck alongside some of the other little hobbies that I like to do as well. And really, if I can make it my paycheck, and then my wife and I have set a goal too of really just kind of getting that point of consolidating all of our debt, or rather paying it off, freeing up our monthly income, and we want to grow these types of investments, if you will, whether it's in the stock market, or if we can find a small asset that might give us a little bit monthly cash flow, and start growing kind of this availability of cash, or resource, if you will, and go start looking into physical assets that we can buy that can net us enough funds to pay, if there's a monthly payment on it, like say a house, that's kind of one of our thoughts and goals. The market is hot right now, and unfortunately, we don't have any of that cash available to make some down payments and get a renter in. But that's kind of that goal. Let's get out of our financial distress, build up a nice little savings, little nest egg, so we can start investing here or doing this or doing that, and using this brokerage account, if you will, to help grow that, right? Like I said, a couple $100, and right now, if I were to sell all this stuff off, that's what my account was worth right now. This $989, right? So we've done a lot of research, and by no means do we have it figured out. Oops, sorry about that. Let me put that on silent. But I kind of look at it like this: trial by fire, but try to go in knowing a little bit more than the average person. Oh, I mean, we could have came in here and bought whatever type of stock and just, okay, we're done with it. Forget the password. Come back a year later and see what happens, right? And I want to get to that point. But my thought is with this, I was talking to her about it. It's just, let's look at this in a three-step process, just in the specific area of investing with a brokerage account, investing in the stock market. I was like, it would be awesome, number one, to learn how to make solid trades. So there's so much to this. It's unbelievable. I was thoroughly surprised, which it makes sense. Not everybody can dive into this, which is why a lot of people aren't in the market. And that's fine. It's not for everybody. And quite honestly, I would say that it wasn't even for me, but I also looked at it too. Like, I have time available now. We're looking at this as a resource for our family. And our goals is this: number one, learn, right? Every day is a learning experience. I never, ever, ever want to have a day where I don't learn something new personally. Um, and here, this every day is a new learning experience. It's awesome. Number two is I want to look at the investment in the stock market as in the fashion of a short term, to grow some capital, which I think I've done a little bit, right? Not $200, turn it into almost $1,000 if I were to sell everything off right now at market value. That's freaking awesome. But I want to grow that into $5,000, $10,000, whatever, on a short term. And then start buying into some long term plays too, where we have the time, if you will, to where I can sit there and say, you know what, I got $10,000 in here. Let me take some of that available capital inside this account, and let's start looking at some ETFs or stocks that pay dividends, right? Hold on to those. And I'm also looking at it too from the standpoint on a very long-term play. And I need to dig into this, but apparently you can have like a guardianship account too for your kids. So that's awesome. I want to get my kids involved in this and invest in the things that they believe in. We got 11 years old all the way down to, 6 years old. And what's important to them? They like video games. They like McDonald's. They like the older ones are especially becoming really fond of Amazon because they figured out that you can make lists, like their wish list for holidays and birthdays and all that fun stuff. So every day, it's something new. Hey, I really want this video game, or I like they want a new iPad or whatever. We can't afford that, but they have learned that Amazon is a resource though, because we've been trying to teach them too, the value of money. They at some point in time feel like it grew on trees, and I'm sure every kid does, right? I know we were there once too, but I was like, brother, I can't afford to give you $500 to go buy a new iPad or the new PS5 or what have you. So at any rate, I want them to start seeing maybe this as a tool as well. Like, hey, let's research this together. What is something that you guys are interested in? Let's invest into those accounts for you guys. And then for the older boys, they got 10 years or 7 years rather before they turn 18. Is that a sensible time to let them take over that account and see what that value of that account is based off of their own research and based off of the own things that they believe in, things of that nature. So I'm super excited to get to that point. But yeah, I want to get to the point too for our own brokerage account for my wife and I's. Hey, almost $1,000 is great, but I want to turn this into a 6-figure or 7-figure account. I feel extremely lucky to even have the resources available to do just this right now and have the time to learn. And I'm one of those too. Like, I just want to deep dive into every aspect. But if we can turn this into a 6-figure account, and if I can help grow my kids' knowledge in the market and also in investments and things of that nature too, and set them up for financial success, that goal being is I want this YouTube platform, my friends, my family, you guys that are out there around me to if you're starting out just like I am, like, let's build these accounts up, let's build each other up. And then, dude, just like, my thought is help invest in other things, help build our cash flow portfolio up, which right now is $0. We have more going out than we even have coming in. It's insane. Thankfully, we've been very blessed to hold on to the things that we have, to be quite frank with you. Our vehicle and our home's paid for, but that takes sacrifices along the way too. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are out there experiencing the same thing. And I want to turn my story personally into a story of not a woe is me, this is what's going on, our life sucks, or whatever it is. But I want to turn it into the line of, okay, we started here, and I feel like there's people that could be way worse. And there's people that could be way better. So let's set some realistic goals that I can practice every day, that my wife can practice every day, that my kids can practice every day. And then once we achieve the baseline goal of what we're looking for, we can come over here. If this is $989 million, right? We're talking a whole different tune. And I want to turn that into investing into my community, investing into to the folks that are around me. And not even just trying to make myself more money or whatever else. Like, I don't really care for money. I just want to be able to pay for my home, pay for the things that my kids need and want. Definitely would like to pay for our own groceries and help my neighbors out with some of the things that they have needs for, without it ever being a question. Like, that's my goal. Help invest in our church, help invest in the local town that we're in. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited. So this has really worked out. I feel very blessed today to be able to do this. I also feel very blessed too because I've actually had the opportunity to start dabbling in a few other things, which I think are going to lead to future opportunity. And I'm super stoked about that too. One of them is with a couple photography jobs that are kind of pending right now. Getting some live event shoots going on. I'm pretty excited about that. Which in turn, like, I just want to turn this into that hustle game. We got to pay off our debt. I don't have it pulled up right now, but that is the main goal for using this. Trying to hustle hard too is we want to build. Well, rather, we really just want to get ourselves back level to a zero, if you will. Instead of having all the credit card debt and loan debt, I would like our goal is to pay off all the credit cards, all the loans that we have. Get to the point where we could pay off the car, right? Thankfully, we're still able to pay on that. But the ultimate goal is to pay that off, pay the house off, and just start being cash flow positive too, to where we have more cash availability to handle all the responsibilities that we have. Utilities, kids playing sports if they wanted to do that, whatever their fundraisers are, school pictures, child support for me, to be frank. I want to be able to cover all that stuff responsibly. And then also to start gaining momentum inside investing. So that's our goal. I hope you guys enjoy just kind of that story behind that and where I'm starting from. I'm just a nobody, right? I feel like I'm the same as the majority of our folks around us. Just, I think, in my opinion, a cool dude. Really scared and skeptical at first to take responsibility for some of my finances. Ooh, let me show you this. And this is great too. Feel super blessed today. So I'll go ahead and show you. But yeah, taking ownership of the things that I have just disregarded and been scared to handle just because I felt like my confidence was broken with losing my job. I don't have an income. I have all these other responsibilities, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm still very much in that mindset. With the difference being now is I've been educating myself and throwing myself into the very extremely uncomfortable realm of learning how to do stuff, putting myself out here on the internet, and taking some chances, right? So part of my goal with that too is two things. With this YouTube channel, I want to challenge myself to come on live every day for at least the rest of the month. Hopefully I can make that happen. Who knows? Life is still going on, right? And by every day, maybe not on the weekends. We all need a break, right? Um, and then every day too, I want to spend some time investing in myself, furthering my knowledge in one of those things. So I had bought, actually first I had started listening to Justin Donald's podcast on uh, what, January 3rd or something like that. And I just kind of started feeding into this and like hearing some of the things that I needed to hear, calling it out, like hearing him say too, like I wanted to invest more time in looking. He calls himself the lifestyle investor, right? What is the lifestyle that I want, and how do I want to use that lifestyle to be a tool for other people around me? And his deal is, wealth is not just money, right? It's how we live with the people that are around us. Um, who do you do life with? Are you invested in them? Are they invested in you? Do you get to do everything that you want to do with them? Because in my mind, I don't get to do all the things that I want to do, not even for my family in my own home, let alone my extended family, my friends that I love dearly, that might as well be family, right? We all got those folks, right? Um, but I want to be that tool and resource. So, at any rate, ended up buying his book, and a lot of it is just different investment strategies that he's used that's been proven to be successful. Ended up buying the book. Well, I've never gotten the book yet. This was back in, I think it was January 24th that I bought the book, and it was an awesome deal, $7 and some change or whatever. So I had just finally emailed yesterday, and I was like, hey, I purchased this book. I was thankful to be able to still read it on the digital format. Um, but yeah, I was like, hey, when can we expect this book? Well, apparently the book has been so successful, they're on back order for another couple weeks, from what I understand. So I got this email and reply back today, and their support team is awesome. If you haven't heard of this, go check it out. I think it's really worth a read. But yeah, check out Justin Donald. And let me tell you what. So they set me up right. So sorry for the wait. We're expecting a rough shipment date for the new books that are being printed right now, hopefully in a couple weeks. As an apology, and still a thank you though for being understanding. They granted me this access to his class, which apparently cost $475 just to even do. So I pulled this up today, just opened up the account with that. I'm going to start reading through it, man. I'm so excited. It's super, super awesome. I think it's worth it. Check out his story. Another good guy too to listen to, and I really want to read his book, but is Hal Elrod. And there's several other folks that I've been listening to that I think deserve a shout out, but I don't want to run all of the time with that. But yeah, the Lifestyle Investor course, got it for free. So huge shout out to him and his team for setting this up and trying to offer more value to people like myself that hey, we purchased and bought into you, and so we're feeling the love, or I'm feeling the love rather, for him just to have this set up in such a way, like, we're sorry, and we value you, so why don't you check this out. So I think that's a huge blessing, man. It's stinking awesome. I'll tell you that. But at any rate, so part of my goal is to help just share this journey with you guys. Learn how to make these videos. I'm just starting out, right? Like a lot of YouTube research on here to how do you stream on multiple cameras? I don't know. Been fortunate though, like I said, I actually learned how to use our old iPhones as webcams. So what's up here? That's pretty awesome. And part of our thought too is to, for me, I got this semi-awesome beard. Some folks think it's way better than what I give it claim to, but whatever. I do love that. So I love my beard. It takes a lot of patience. That's how I'm looking at this investing, both in stocks and just in life too. Like, I want to buy back my time. So we need to have patience though in building these strategies, and working our debt down so that way we can start investing. And I was like, you know what? I want to start this, just come up with a design, Bearded Wealth Builder. So that's what I'm looking at it. And believe me when I say this, it's not just for dudes with beards. I think this is just for the grander community of human beings that want to learn something, to be a part of the journey, be a part of the story. But for me, I wanted it to also support my beard because it's awesome, I think. But yeah, so I mean, guys and girls alike. I mean, if you guys are in the same position that I'm in, or that me and my family are in, or worse, or maybe you're in the exact same kind of area, or maybe a little bit further ahead. Like, I want to use this opportunity right now for myself to learn, and to help teach others around too, and just kind of show you the goals, and how we're tackling those along the way. And I also want to use this as an accountability tool. And beyond that too, just to build a community. Like, dude, if you guys know something that I don't know, or how to use Streamlabs, or maybe research this, or learn, maybe you need to start here to learn and grow a knowledge with this. Like, I'm up for it. I figure if we're all bouncing ideas off of each other, hey, check this out. This is what I grabbed from it. What did you get from it? Let's make it better. Like, that's exactly what I want to do. Just stair step it up, man. But at any rate, so Bearded Wealth Builder, we got some big things coming. I'm telling you what, I am so excited right now, just to see what the future has for us. Still learning, like I said, but hopefully the audio quality is a lot better. I know there's a subscribe button down somewhere over here. Hit subscribe, help follow what this journey is going to look like. Hopefully in a few days too, we are still accounting or waiting for, or maybe even tomorrow, some of that stimulus money. And I think we've got a great game plan for us that's going to help just offer some peace of mind of paying some debts off, trying to keep on point with that goal. So I want to share that with you guys if that comes through. And same thing, maybe you were thinking too, dude, like, I don't know if we should invest in the stock market and take that gamble, or do we go ahead and pay off some debts, or ooh, shiny TV, right? But I want to be just here in front of you right now saying we are making that choice just one day at a time. And thankfully we had a little bit of time to plan ahead, but we've decided that for us, we've got to pay off some certain debts instead of kind of going all in on a stock market, or maybe taking some of that money to go invest in something else. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what else we can invest in with the little bit that we're getting. But in all reality, if you are getting a substantial chunk of change, $1,400 is a lot of money to me. And it's going to help a lot with paying off some debt and buying some groceries for my family, things of that nature. So, but just know, hey, I want to support you. This is how we're planning on doing it. And if you have the opportunity to invest in something, or you want to do the same thing, I challenge you. Look at your really debt to income ratio going on for your household. Don't go and blow all that stimulus money. Like, get what you need, and if you can spend $1,000 of that to pay off a credit card or a loan, or $200 of that to help pay that down, I challenge you to do it. So, anyways, give us a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button.